Here's the truth about parenting. Most of us have no clue what we're doing, but we are experts at making stuff up as we go. So if you ever feel like you suck at raising those little humans, welcome to the club. Every week, I'm talking to some of the most raw, hysterical, and fearless kid raisers I know. Because the truth is, we're all just winging it. Welcome to Parenting on the Fly. Rebekah Borucki, founder of Beck's Life and the Blissful Wellness Movement, is a TV host, meditation guide, author, speaker, birth doula, fitness and yoga instructor, and popular social media personality. Her first book, You Have 4 Minutes to Change Your Life, simple 4-minute meditations for inspiration, transformation, and true bliss, was released by Hay House in February of 2017. But if all that weren't amazing enough, she is also the mom of 5 kids, ages 2.5 to 19. Bex is not afraid to share the ridiculousness that comes with raising tiny humans while running a successful wellness brand. And one of the reasons why I love calling her my friend is because she inspires me and keeps it really, really real. Please welcome my guest, Rebekah Borucki.
Do I keep it really real?
You keep it really real, girl. You do.
I keep it real traumatic. I think that's what I do.
That it could be that sometimes, but I really do appreciate the fact that you don't take yourself or parenting that seriously. Yes, it's important. We're trying to do our best as human beings, but I think at the end of the day, it's really important to kind of be able to laugh at yourself in the situations that you encounter as a parent.
Absolutely. If I wasn't laughing, I think I'd be crying all the time. So it's kind of like a hybrid of laugh cry that I participate in every day. That's my practice. I kind of want to cry, but then I do recognize the ridiculousness in 99% of the parenting situations that I find myself in. And I have to laugh, and it's definitely laughter and high comedy and sharing of all of those things in a humorous voice and a tone of lightness that has sustained me for 19 years.
Yeah, because you need something to keep you going.
Yeah, something to keep me from setting myself on fire and running into a field. Yes.
So for listeners who are just tuning into our show for the first time, basically, I came up with this idea of parenting on the fly because I have been involved in improv for the past 2 years, and I've loved every moment of it. And I realized that there is literally a direct correlation between improv and parenting. So, for instance, in improv, you have to listen, you have to be open to all the possibilities. You have to say yes, even though you might be scared shitless for what might happen next, but you got to say yes anyway, right? And you also have to be cooperative and just be positive. And I think all of those things translate into being a parent. So one of the things that we do in improv is we play games to kind of warm ourselves up and get the thoughts flowing. It's okay.
My gosh.
Don't be scared.
No, do you understand? They canceled a freshman play because I was starring in it and I was so bad. They were like, this, I'm not even joking. This is a real story. I'm so bad at acting.
Here's the thing. This is not about acting. This is about having a very honest answer and receiving what you're given and just giving something back. So I found this really nifty tool online, and it's a random word generator. So we're going to do some word associations and we're just going to fire them off. I'm going to give you a word and you're going to give me the first word you think of. And I have no idea what these words are going to be. So this is going to be new to me too. All right. Are you ready? Are you ready to play?
I'm so mad at you right now. Let's go. All
right. First word, honesty.
What am I supposed to do now?
Any word you think of, the first word that comes to your mind.
Vagina.
Okay.
I felt it there.
I love how you go right there off the bat. Love it. Next word, revenge.
Ex-husband.
Ooh. Free will.
God.
Propaganda.
Trump. Sorry.
He was going to come in somehow, some way. Glamorous.
Victoria Beckham. My mind.
Okay.
This is so ridiculous.
I know. That's why it's great. All right. Last word is going to be, I don't know. Playtime.
Children.
All right. So there you go. We brought it back around. Look at that. You see how that happened? See, we didn't even plan that and it came right back around. All right. So the first question I'm going to ask you is, when was the last time you flat out lied to your kids?
It's been a really, really long time. I don't even remember. I have been practicing this radical honesty thing for a little while now. And I don't, every time I feel the urge to lie, I'll tell you the last time I felt the urge to lie was like 10 minutes ago. And I feel it all the time. I'm a chronic liar. And I think that when we really think about it, most of us are, when we include little white lies, when we include excuses, include things that we say that we, because we don't want to hurt people's feelings, that we lie a lot. And I was someone who lied like 57,000 times a day. And because of the territory of being married with children.
Yeah.
But I don't do it anymore. I don't do it about feelings. I don't do it about, anything.
I think you started this process when you started reading that book, right?
I've been
it's not you. No, it's not. What is it called?
Maybe It's You. Maybe It's You.
I started reading it too because of you. And I really, you know what? You got to deal with your bullshit. You got to just be like, nope, I'm not going to say that thing, even though it's going to probably hurt this person's feelings, but they asked me, so I have to be honest, right?
Yeah, I'm willing to be the asshole. Like I totally am. Can I say this as a parenting podcast?
Absolutely. Here's the thing. We are not trying to be, something we're not. This is how parents talk. We curse, we, get upset, we get angry, and we try not to lie to our kids, but it happens sometimes. Okay. So you just said, when was the last time you felt the urge to lie?
Well, this morning I was reviewing my son's homeschool grades, and I was frustrated, and I was having this whole conversation with myself about like what I was going to do to punish him, quote unquote, punish him, and what I was going to take away. And I had like this whole list of excuses in this way that I was going to dance around the issue and talking to him. And I was like, okay, you know what? I have to respect him enough to honor him with the truth. And I asked him to come into my room, and I said, look, here's where we are. This is how I feel about it. This is what's going to happen. Do you have any questions? Do you have any complaints? No, because, now we have this communication that goes back and forth, and he was fine with it. And he said, I understand. And that was the end of it. But I was really afraid to have the conversation. And in that fear, I was concocting all these different ways that I can make it nicer, or so that he would receive it softer and he wouldn't be mad at me. And I was just like, oh, it's too much.
Yeah.
Too much to think about. I'm taking away your phone. That was the end of it.
That was the end. Yeah. It could be exhausting to like keep up this energy of trying to make them, feel better when, maybe they just need to understand what the situation is. Like, this is the deal. This is why it's happening. Yeah. And then they're like, oh, okay. All right. All I can do is accept it.
Yeah. What I found with I'll say my teenage children, I have 3 teenagers. And then with my husband is by, speaking to them in this way, I was really infantilizing them. I was telling them that they weren't strong enough or mature enough or capable enough to handle the truth. And in doing that, a couple things might have been happening. Either they were actually becoming weaker, or they were pretending to be weaker and playing along.
Right.
But either way, they weren't showing up the way I wanted them to show up. So I'm willing now to give them enough respect, to honor them enough, to give them enough responsibility so that they can like handle the truth. Because they're big people. They're like grown-up people.
Yeah, they need to be
especially my husband.
Wait, so let's go back a minute. Let's go through. So I mentioned that you have 5 kids. Let's go through the ages, genders, and awesome names of your children.
Okay, Winona is 19. She's a good girl. She is a college freshman. I have Calvin and Jack. Calvin is 17 and Jack is 13, almost 14. Those are my two boys in the middle. And Summer is a 6-year-old girl, and Annabelle is a 2.5-year-old girl.
2.5-year-old girl who just broke her leg.
I know, she did. Yeah, here's the story. She broke her leg on my sister's trampoline, which she's not allowed to be on.
Fucking trampolines, man.
For real, right?
I'm sorry, they're evil. They're so evil.
So she broke her leg on my sister's trampoline because my sister was babysitting her because I was in the emergency room with another one of the big kids. So while I was in the emergency, and it's like the odds are not in my favor with this because I have so many of them. This is going to happen. But while I'm in the emergency room with one kid, the other kid is breaking her leg. So that night we had to, as soon as we got home, exhausted because we were up 2 nights in a row. We had prom one night, emergency room next night. We're so exhausted. We get home. We find out she hurt her leg. I touch it. I'm like, it's definitely broken. We have to go back to the emergency room. Of course, we go to a different one because I don't need child services.
No.
They'd be like, we go to another one in another household.
Oh my God.
It's like, this is my life.
This is the shit we can't plan for. This is the stuff whenever I talk to like first-time parents or people who don't have kids, and they have this very clear picture of like what their life is going to be like and what their kids are going to be like. And I just laugh because it's like, you can't plan for this stuff. You cannot anticipate this stuff happening. Okay. So
though, not to interrupt, but I have to interrupt there. You can't plan for it, but you can prepare for it.
Yes.
And that's why I have this meditation practice. That's why I do all of this work with self-healing and diet and exercise and all that, because if I didn't have that, I'd be on the floor. I'd be in like nervous breakdown sitting.
In a ball, fetal position, rocking.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned that you use meditation as a practice to help you get through things, but what's something that really makes you lose your shit? Like, what's something that like Mama Bex, if she sees it, if she hears it, someone's gonna die. What's that thing?
It's mess. It's messy stuff. Not to get dark, but just to give you some context, I grew up in a really chaotic household, and my parents basically when they gave up on their marriage I was about 5 years old, they also just gave up on life. Right. And they stopped cleaning. They stopped taking care of us. The house was disgusting. It was like hoarders. Mm-hmm. And that is something that I carry with me. I'm working on it, but I don't know when I'm going to get over it. And I am obsessive about things being organized and clean. And the kids know this, and we have this honest conversation, like, mommy goes crazy. Like, talk to me about drugs, about sex, about whatever, and I will be cool as a cucumber. Your room is a mess. I will take the door off the hinges, and this has happened, and it will not return until it is clean again. I have, eased up over time, right. But I require a neat environment. Yes.
Okay. So that is your like, we cannot even talk about this. This needs to be done right now.
I'm so embarrassed right now.
No,
I'm saying this.
I have a similar feeling about mess. Like I just can't fathom why you would come into a room, open a wrapper of some sort of something, leave it on a counter that is probably 10 feet away from the garbage, and then mosey on your way with your food. Like, why you just throw it away? Just throw. I can trace where my kids are by the trail of wrappers that they have left in their wake, because they're boys and they eat a lot and whatever. But I can't. It drives me insane. I
can't. I can feel your can't. I just can't. Walking up here to I hide in my bedroom during interviews, and walking up here, I pass the boys' bathroom, which is just a hellacious pit of despair and shame. So I pass their bathroom, and it's like, why are there clothes next to the hamper? I don't understand that.
It took my 18-year-old about 17 and a half years to finally pick up his damn clothes after his shower. Like, there is a hamper in the closet in the bathroom. Why are your crumpled, dirty, sweaty, smelly clothes in a ball on the floor? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, we're moving on from that.
Good stuff. Good content.
All right. So, okay, we're gonna get to a really good juicy question because I want to know the answer to it. You have 5 kids. I have 4 kids. There are constant interruptions, correct? Constant interruptions. When was the last time? Should I phrase this way? When was the last time your kids walked in on you having sex?
Never.
Really?
I'm so good at it.
Dude, you gotta teach me your ways. Literally last night, let me just tell you just one little thing. Literally last night, my husband, I haven't seen him all weekend. We haven't seen each other. I'm like, oh, I'm so happy you're home. Start kissing. My son walks in, opens the door, walks in, says, "It's 3-3, Dad," because he's watching the NHL like playoffs, the Stanley Cup. 3-3, Dad. I'm like, thanks for the update. Right, and like we just started, but still, I'm like, okay, just gotta. Okay, so never. How is that possible?
Okay, well, I'll say that. I'll tell you this. So the 3 older children are from my first marriage,
right?
And the 2 little ones are from my current and forever marriage.
Yes.
He hates when I say current because it sounds like
currently until like next year, and then we'll see what
my forever marriage. And so we've always had, because there were stepchildren, and my daughter was she was like 8, 9 when Justin moved in with us. There's a privacy that exists with us that doesn't exist with parents, where it's both parents of the kids. So like when doors are closed, for all parties, so that they can have their privacy, their space. So when we close a door, I don't, walk into my kids' rooms when their doors are closed. We knock, and when our door is closed, they knock. I'm also the master of silent. You don't even hear it. I'm so good at it. And it's like, shh, 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 wait, I'm breathing. And he's like, I'm breathing. And I'm like, it's still up. I'm like, I can get like still, like you wouldn't even like, you'll hear a whisper. I think it's yoga. I think yoga helped me to be able to like really control my breath in that way. But yeah, I'm so good. I don't know. I could have traumatized them 75,000 times at this point, and like they know, and we think they don't. But I feel good at it.
So you think you're stealth mode? Okay, all right. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you mentioned that you have a mixed family, a blended family, because you have 3 kids from one marriage and 2 from another. At a little more serious note, how did you break that news of divorcing your ex-husband? Because I think a lot of parents, as you said before, just talking to Calvin about his homework is a hard thing to do, and you want to like minimize it, and you want to make it seem softer and easier for them than it is. So this is a really big decision that you guys had to make, and you guys had to go through. What was your process, and how did that actually come out to them?
It was a very messy, angry divorce. And I don't think that the process was, I tried my best, but I don't think it was healthy at all. It was something that happened very abruptly. Luckily, my ex-husband was able to move only a couple blocks away from us. So he was able to see the kids every single day during the transition. But it was, I don't even, I was in such turmoil at the time. I don't even remember the conversation. And I thank God that I had family, my mother who lived close, my sisters who lived really close, kind of supporting us through that, being able to take the kids a lot. It was a lot of crying. It was a lot of fighting. It was a lot of ugliness that, we're still kind of 11 years later navigating and, having conversations about and kind of revisiting and, talking about what happened. But yeah, it was, I bought a book. I bought a book called Sandcastles. It was about like, divorce the Sandcastles way. And it was by this rabbi who I saw on Oprah. So I bought a book. We went to family counseling that didn't go well either. I tried to play games with them, like these like healthy, it was almost like when I got pregnant with Winona when I was 18 years old. And I felt, completely out of my depth. and I had no idea what I was doing, but I was determined to just not be that statistic and just to do the right thing. So I bought every book. I did all the right, quote unquote, right things that, a good mom is supposed to do. I had no idea what I was doing.
Right.
It's the exact way I navigated my divorce. Winona is now in a beautiful, healthy relationship for 2 years. She just finished her first year of college. Calvin is a, beautiful musician. He is doing his thing. So they live.
Right.
That's the good news.
They're still alive. And I think that is the goal at the end of the day, honestly. If as parents, we take everything, I think we take everything we do so seriously that we think every little thing is going to impact our children. And while it might subconsciously, there are things that impact them, I think collectively, if they're loved, if they feel like they have a voice, if they feel like they can, they have support, the most traumatic, things that happen can be, they can get through them. You know what I mean? It's not, I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves as parents that we're going to damage our children, and they're way more resilient than we even know. They're way more resilient.
They need to know. I mean, we do too. All of us need to know that we are supported and that we are loved and we have a place to fall into, to fall back on. And so even us, we deal with daily stress. It's unavoidable. There's no cure for stress. It's going to keep happening no matter what in our lives, but it's how we deal with it using the tools that we have. And then also what kind of support system we've built up around us, people, family, friends, a home that's comfortable for you, places that you can go to work things out, go to the gym, wherever. So these are the things that we need to understand for ourselves and also for our children. So yeah, stuff happens. Every day isn't perfect here. I yell sometimes. I lose it sometimes. My husband, no, he never yells, but sometimes he's in the appearance that he's in a bad mood. Yeah, he gets grumpy. But, we all have our stuff, but if the underlying tone is love, then it all works out in the end.
So that leads me to, saying yes, being open is a huge part of being an improviser, right? Because the partner that you're working with is giving you something. And for you to immediately say, no, I'm not a fisherman, or no, I'm not in a dungeon, or whatever it is, when you negate them, then you kind of stop the conversation. So, and you don't get to explore what that new, fun, funny thing is. So what was the last thing you said yes to, but you had total apprehension about? You were like, I don't know if I want to do this. This is freaking scary. I don't know. But you somehow found it within yourself to be like, you know what? I'm going to say yes. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I'm going to say yes anyway.
Can this be a sex thing?
Of course it can. That makes it even better.
I've just been doing this work with, a life coach, and she ended up taking my husband on as well. And so she's working with both of us at the same time, which is this really beautiful thing. And part of the work was to write down 10 secrets that I thought I was going to the grave with. Ooh. And I put them on paper and I sent them out into the universe. So now someone else knows all of my deepest, darkest secrets. And in there was conversation about, how I wanted to express myself, the kind of relationship that I wanted to have, how I wanted to connect with my partner. And at the end of it, she said, okay, we can do a couple things with this information. We can say, it's going to go to the grave, which is fine. Mm-hmm. Or you can ask me, you can say, please help me to tell this, to say this. And I was like, I'm here doing the work. Help me to say this. Yeah. And so I left this session with her in New York City, which is about an hour and 15 minutes from my home. And I got in the car with my husband. His session was right after. And we sat in the car on that ride and I told him all the secrets.
Wow.
And because some of those involved our relationship, our physical relationship, it was, I'm whispering because I have kids in the house. I'm like, oh my gosh, they can hear all this. I'm not in stealth mode right now. That was about a month ago. Okay. Oh my gosh. Saying yes to the things that I was so scared about, things I thought were weird or dark.
Honey, I really want to get some freaky deaky up in here.
Yeah. And then also listening to him share his stuff back, then him feeling open because I said yes to myself, this challenge, or to my coach, said yes and showed up for this challenge and revealed this, then he felt free to reveal his stuff. And I got to tell you, if you've attracted the love of your life and you are weird or freaky or whatever, they are too. Like, so, like you have like attracts like, you know? So we share this thing, and it's like, it's been amazing. And, you know, not just the physical aspect, but really just this level of intimacy that has arisen from this conversation, this 1 hour conversation, a ride home from New York we're talking about everything. And it's like, we've been together for 11 years. We're totally in love. We spend so much time together. I adore him, but getting to know him on this whole different level, so exciting. I didn't think it was possible.
That is really exciting. And it was just about you being brave enough to say yes to saying something that you weren't sure how it was going to be received, and it was received well. And you even got back more from him because he was able to share with you. That's amazing.
Yeah. And you know what? Not even brave enough, because I didn't feel brave in the moment, but being curious enough. And I think that if you follow your curiosity, then so many amazing things can open up to you, even if you're afraid. Like I'm scared shitless all the time about all the things that I do, but I want to know how it turns out, because I'm going to die one day, not to get dark, but I'm going to die one day. And I need to find the answers to these questions in my head. So come hell or high water, whether I'm afraid and peeing my pants or not, I'm going to get the answer. So I needed to know.
Yeah, you need to know. And good thing you know now, girl.
I know all the time. I'm knowing 3-4 times a week, which is a lot.
That is, I can't know. That is crazy to me. I literally have to get myself together to be like, okay, we have enough energy to do this. Like, cause it's hard. Like as a parent, I'm exhausted. He's exhausted physically, mentally, everything. And to just make that time, just be like, okay, we're going to do this, because you need it. You need that connection. And I think it's important for kids to see that too. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I feel like it's really important for your kids to see you be romantic and silly and flirty and all that stuff with your partner, because they might be weirded out by it in the moment and be like, oh, mom, dad, stop, whatever. But when they look back at it, they'll know what normal, healthy love looks like. And it shouldn't be hidden. Like, love shouldn't be hidden. It shouldn't be like, oh, I only kiss you, when we're alone. That's odd.
Yeah. But it's normal. Oh my gosh. I'm running this private Facebook group now, and I can't even tell you how many women are being brave and telling their truth about, their marriages, and marriages that are happy in every other regard, but like not having sex for 3, 4, 5 years, like really, really, really long periods of time, which is unimaginable to me, but it's happening. So if you've ever heard, and it's not true to me because I've regretted many workouts, but they say you never regret a workout. Like, you're so tired, you don't want to do it. You feel so great. Yeah. And that's not true. Cause I'm like, oh, I gotta take a shower. There's like the whole thing, but no, it's the same way that I look, at intimacy, and it could be just like a hug, or taking that, putting the phone down and like cuddling up next to each other on the couch. I always feel re-energized. I always feel calmer, happier, so it's something that you have to make it a priority. You just do.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. To go back to the kiddies. So, okay.
Those people.
Yeah. Those little humans, those tiny little humans. So most parents, whether even if you're homeschooled, kids have projects, right? We have things that we have to do that literally, my son said to me the other day, he's like, oh, I have to do this collage for my 5th grade graduation. I'm like, oh, when's that due? Tomorrow. Of course it's due tomorrow. Everything's due tomorrow. So what is the last time you can remember you like helped your kids slap together a project and like made it happen, made it work? Like, you were just like, we got some toothpicks and some cotton balls and some glitter, and we're gonna make this happen.
Okay. Well, for the older kids, the 3 older kids, I have 100% zero tolerance policy on last minute things like that. I use your lack of planning is not my emergency.
Exactly. I love that.
I'm not down with that. I let them get zeros. And it's funny because, nowadays, today's school system, no child gets left behind. They have like infinite amount of time to make up work. And I have actually called teachers and said, give them the zero. They didn't do the work. And I don't want to be making this up at the end of the year. So there's that, putting that aside. Now with the little one, the 5-year-old, she has her, God bless her, beautiful, sweet teacher. She's the best kindergarten teacher, but she sends home more family projects that make me want to jump off a ledge. It's like, so everyone has to participate. Like, everyone trace your hand and write it.
Wait. She makes everybody do the homework, basically.
Yes, it's a family project. And I'm like, do you know how big my family is? Like, so we do them once a month, and then, there's little things in between. And it's always, no matter, I'll get it and I'll say, I have 3 weeks to do this. And I put it on my Instagram board. It's like right in front of me, or I write it in my calendar, and I'm going to do it on time. And invariably the Sunday night before we're throwing it together, my husband and I are crafters, and we have loads and loads of sequins and glitter and scrapbook paper. We love to make things. So our projects are always really lit and awesome, but the last one was a timeline. It was Summer's whole life, and it was like 2,232 days of summer. Like I thought I was being really clever. Wow. And it was like this pennant looking timeline with little flags hanging down and a picture of her all through the years. And my husband's a photographer, so most of our stuff
that helps.
Sequins, photography, and scrapbook paper.
Yeah, a little glue. You're good to go.
And it's all torture, and I've never enjoyed one project ever. And I'm also a control freak, so I don't let the kids even help most of the time. I'm like, just get out of the way. You're making it ugly. I'm making this nice for you.
I can remember there have been so many. Oh my god. Bryson once did a project that was, it was a Coliseum. So we had to do a picture of like some sort of large structure. So he chose Nassau Coliseum, which is where the Islanders used to play hockey, because our family is hockey obsessed. And he started like drawing it, and I was like, the lines aren't straight. I like got out my ruler, and I was like, let me just make the lines. And he's like, okay. So I made the lines, and then I'm like, how about we shade with the pencil, not with the marker? And he was like, I can't really shade. I'm like, well, it's okay. I could do it. I could do it for you. Like, it was literally like every other thing I was taking over from him. It came out gorgeous, and he got an A. So that's all that matters in the end of the day, even though I took it over. But sometimes you have to, because for time, it's like, I don't want to be sitting here with you for 4 hours while you color in this picture. Like, I can't.
And not well.
No, and not well. Terrible. All right. So I have one more question for you, and I'm going to do this with all of my guests, and it's a totally what if question, and it's heavily loaded for you because I know you. And I wanted to give you something that I'm sure you've thought about before, because I certainly thought about it as well. So we have this thing in common that we found out about each other, that you had your first daughter when you were 18. I had my first son when I was 17. So the whole teenage mom, not trying to be a stereotype, not trying to fit into anybody's box or mold, that heavily weighs on us. So, Miss Bex, what would you do if your 19-year-old daughter came home from college and told you that she was pregnant?
I'd support her. Okay, there's two parts to this. One's going to sound really terrible, and I hope no one judges me, but it's the truth. No judgment. I am not going to have any more children, and I'm counting the minutes until I have grandchildren. And I'll tell you this, my 19-year-old, and every child's different, and my 19-year-old is just such an amazing girl, and she's so smart, and she has been taking herself to the doctor to get her own birth control and handling her own reproductive health. Like, she's just responsible in that way. So it's not like a concern, but if she came home, she's just so good at everything. I just like, okay, I'll help you. I mean, I'd want her, of course, to finish school because it's a dream of hers. And I would go back to being a housewife and take care of my children. Oh my God.
Got you.
I'm such a bad, like, and you know, and I think that they know that too. I mean,
Right.
there's not, for me, you know, a baby's a blessing and like all that stuff,
Right.
but, and whatever decisions they made, I'd be totally supportive. But it's just, I don't know. I think everything's work outable, you know,
Mm-hmm.
nothing is the end of the world and nothing is a disaster. And there's so much love and we have so much support in our family. And I had that too. And that's why I'm so grateful. When I called my mom and I was 18 and I called my older sister to support me and we called my mom together and she said, you know, she said my ex-husband's name, like, how does he feel about it? And I said, he's happy, he's supportive. And she said, okay, then good. We're going to have a baby. So,
So you're presented with a seemingly difficult situation that you know, it could be difficult. It can be difficult. We both know that. But you said yes, you would say yes anyway and see what happens and be open to whatever happens because you love your kid. And at the end of the day, that's the most important thing.
It wouldn't be difficult because I would totally take care of the baby and buy all the things.
All right, it's so bad. Let's not put that in there. Let's not put that out there. Not put that out there. Let's not
make it so easy. I'll make it so easy if I can cuddle another baby.
Oh my God. Girl, I love babies. I love other people's babies, but I'm not, no, my ovaries are like, no, we're good. Be good. We've popped out 4. We're good.
I'm good on my own, oh my gosh. And it's a little bit different, I think, than if my son came home, I might have a heart attack because as the mom of the girl, I'm a little, I have that little edge.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think I would freak out either way. And then love them and support them, of course.
Of course.
Well, thank you so much for letting me chat with you. I really want this podcast to be a light spot in everybody's day. Like, we need to laugh. We need to laugh at ourselves. We need to laugh at the world because shit is crazy and we don't have a control over a lot of it. So just got to be open and roll with the punches, you know?
Absolutely. It was my pleasure. I had so much fun.